beat the Chiefs. It's official. They don't beat them when they really want to beat them, but they beat them all the time. So Buffalo's now 4-1 against Kansas City in the regular season. So fun game, great game, prize fight, looked great. Kansas City probably still going to get home field advantage, but they didn't need it last year. So it's not the be-all, end-all. What did we learn from the game? Well, I do believe, and I've said this for probably a month and a half, I think this is the best version of Buffalo to beat Kansas City. They were missing 3 starters offensively, and they still had 366 yards, scored 30 points, were great on third down. They dominated the game. This is the best version of Buffalo. They were missing a great tight end. They're missing an offensive lineman. They're missing a star wide receiver, and they still move the ball. They dominate third down. They dominate time of possession. They control the football game. And so I think this is the absolute best version of Buffalo. For years and years, they always had mediocre running backs. They don't anymore. They would have no number one receiver, or if they did, Stephon Diggs, you liked him, but it got dramatic. Amari Cooper's quiet, volume, makes plays, never hear a peep. It's it just works. Buffalo's not a flashy team. They have a incredibly dynamic quarterback, but it is a middle-class, tough, blue-collar, punch in the mouth, play physical, jump on picnic tables. That's what it is. That's even the Jim Kelly teams and the Josh Allen teams. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this, okay? I really, really love when Kansas City beats the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and they beat, the Denver Broncos, blocked field goal, overtime for the Bucs and all that. It's this is who the Kansas City Chiefs are. Oh my God, they're head and shoulders better than everyone. They outplay, they outcoach, they do this, they do that. And when the Buffalo Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and very convincingly, I may add, I got some stats. It's the regular season. You got to do it in the playoffs, and it's just what are we talking about here, man? And it's automatically just assumed, oh, well, Kansas City will probably still win the number 1 seed. What did we learn during this game? We learned a few things, okay? If you didn't already know it beforehand, which you should have, but I'll give some people the benefit of the doubt. 1, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. 2, the Kansas City Chiefs are not this unstoppable juggernaut. And 3, the Kansas City Chiefs this season are grossly overrated. And Patrick Mahomes is being carried by a great defense. And as soon as you score points against this Kansas City Chiefs team, they lose. Okay? I mean, look at what the Baltimore Ravens were able to do to the Buffalo Bills. I mean, how about that? And it turns out that the Ravens aren't this unstoppable team. So this automatic assumption that the Chiefs just have it is not found upon anything, okay? The story was all about the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. I mean, what do we got here? First downs, 24-19 Buffalo Bills. Third downs, 9 for 15 to 5 out of 10 for the Buffalo Bills to Chiefs. The Bills had 366 total yards. The Kansas City Chiefs only had 259. The Buffalo Bills dominated time of possession, 34 minutes and 3 seconds to 25 minutes and 57 seconds. So this wasn't even as close as people think. If really Josh Allen, and I knew it was 4th down and Josh Allen threw that interception, it was just kind of more like a prayer thing, but ended up getting run back and they ended up scoring a touchdown on that. If they just punted the ball, right, and or just had a field goal attempt, anything but what just happened, Kansas City probably would have scored even less. This game would have been even bigger. I mean, Nick Wright on First Things First literally went on a tear saying that it was disrespectful, which I'm definitely going to talk for First Things First. But he said, because now he's trying to act like he's a big Buffalo Bills fan. That's revisionist history, my friends. But he acted like it was disrespectful that the Buffalo Bills were favored at home against Kansas City Chiefs. And Colin kept saying, the Kansas City Chiefs are head and shoulders better than everyone else. That's what he kept saying. The Kansas City Chiefs are head and shoulders better than everyone else. No, they're not. Patrick Mahomes is absolutely positively great. Andy Reid, great. That defense, great. Josh Allen is great too. The Buffalo Bills are balling, and yeah, they weren't full strength. And you could say, oh, well, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't full strength either. Yes, they're not going to be full strength. Rashee Rice is not coming back. Hate to break the news to you. Like, that is part of the story of the Kansas City Chiefs. It is not the story for the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, this was a huge win. I understand the idea of having to be like, hey, they got to do it in the playoffs. I get that. I really, really do. But what this game highlights, and it highlights so loud and clear, yet people still want to reject this as a truth claim. Josh Allen can do every single thing that Patrick Mahomes can do. Patrick Mahomes cannot do every single thing that Josh Allen can do. That is the story, man. We see it on full display. Now, I am not a fan of just picking one game and saying this is proof of anything. I always hate that. It's like if people say like, oh, Lamar Jackson beat Josh Allen in the game, that means Lamar Jackson's better than Josh Allen. And I'm like, that's, one game like that doesn't really mean anything. Head-to-heads don't really mean that. But we see on full display these teams and what each team's asked them to do. Josh Allen was also the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills. He has to do so much more than what these other quarterbacks are asked to do. Josh Allen is an absolute beast. And when the lights are brightest, he steps up. When the moment is brightest, he steps up. He steps up. He has not been carried. He doesn't have this go-to weapon that he can just rely on, lean on to be like a big game breaker. Josh Allen is the game breaker. Now, this is the best version of the Bills, and they do have pieces, which is awesome to see. This team is more balanced right now. And the team did step up, and the defense stepped up to make the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes definitely uncomfortable, which was awesome to see. But when the moment needed it the most, it was Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen is why they won that game. He just is. If you have to ask yourself the question, could I replace a different quarterback and still win that game? The answer would be no. That's how you know Josh Allen was the reason. Seriously. That's how you know. So, right, like even the question, surprise Bills handed Chiefs their first loss? No! Because the Bills are really good, and the Chiefs are not this unstoppable juggernaut. They keep acting like they're the New England Patriots of 2007. You want to see what the 2007 Patriots did? This is what Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. This was before this past game, okay? This is what it is. Look how dominant that offense was. Tom Brady on the right, 3,059 passing yards, 74.3% completion percentage, 38 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Opposed to, well, on the left, what Patrick Mahomes has been doing, 2,208 passing yards, 69.5 completion percentage, 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Tell me who you're more afraid of. I think the Buffalo Bills know very well, unfortunately for them. So the Kansas City Chiefs are never dominant. Are they a great team? Absolutely. Can they beat them in the playoffs? Absolutely. If it comes down to the AFC Championship, or anytime in the playoffs, I suppose, between Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Buffalo Bills versus Kansas City Chiefs, who you got? I think it's a coin flip. I really do. Because these teams, we're watching two superheroes go head-to-head. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. It's like Batman v Superman, or I don't even know, man. What's more popular? Iron Man versus Captain America. To me, will come down to who, come time playoffs, if they face each other, who steps up around them. Does Travis Kelce step up? Does Cook step up? Shakir step up? Right? Like it's who else steps? Does the defense step up? It's very rarely, ironically, because both those guys show up, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, in the playoffs in these big moments. It's very rarely who plays better. Because as we saw, like, Josh Allen has never been the reason why the Buffalo Bills have lost come time playoffs. He steps up. He's been a beast. He's got the best touchdown interception ratio of all time in the playoffs. He's balling. He comes up with these huge runs. His game gets elevated in these moments. And some of the throws he was making, his scrambles. I mean, the dude is just a monster. An absolute bona fide monster. And this is why I said weeks ago, before they got Amari Cooper, I said the Buffalo Bills need to make a move. This is the year. Every single team right now is vulnerable. Do not tell me that the Kansas City Chiefs are a juggernaut. The Baltimore Ravens, not a juggernaut. Houston Texans, Bengals. I mean, this is the year that the Buffalo Bills can absolutely, undeniably win the AFC. Undeniably. And there's a real chance that the Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Chargers, lose to the Broncos. So Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they got to rip off these wins. They burned some of their losses already early in the season, especially the Texans. They burned those losses. So the number 1 seed is absolutely there for their taking. And it's not even a matter about home field advantage right now. It's actually more about the fact that you have some of these other teams that could knock out teams in the wild card round and stuff, and in the earlier rounds. The Steelers could knock out again, depending on how this all unfolds, the Steelers could knock out the Chiefs. The Ravens could knock out the Chiefs. The Broncos could knock out the Chiefs. So heck, if the Buffalo Bills win get the number 1 seed, they may not even face the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's a lot at stake. This game was massive. It signaled to the rest of the league, if you don't already know it, this little facade that the Kansas City Chiefs are this dragon, they popped that bubble, which is what I said going into this game. That's what the Buffalo Bills have the ability to do. Pop that bubble. They get to let everyone know, nope. And they get to also let everyone know this year is different. So yeah, we can have all the Kansas City Chiefs fans come running to the table, being like, oh, yeah, do it playoffs. Okay, sure. I always love that argument. I guess we'll just not watch football games until January. Right? Nothing to discuss. This was an awesome game, no matter who you were rooting for. I loved it. I got no dog in the fight. It was just an awesome game. I was like, oh my God. Like the whole time I'm just watching like this. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Like, no. Like the end of the game, when this was going down, it was like, oh my God, are they not going to convert the 4th down? Kansas City's going to score a touchdown or a field goal. Then like the Buffalo Bills are going to have to scramble back. But I was like, well, how's this game going to unfold? Like it was awesome. It was exciting. It was stressful. Patrick Mahomes starts the game, throws an interception. And then you're like, oh God, turns the ball over. And then Josh Allen turns it over and you're like, whoa. It was a wild game. Amari Cooper, some huge catches. Defense stepping up, just swallowing up Patrick Mahomes. Still Mahomes being Mahomes. That defense for the Chiefs is still for real. I know the Bills put up 30, but that defense is obviously still for real for the Kansas City Chiefs. No. I mean, this was a fun, great game all around for sure. And pretty interesting to see. There's this whole idea that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to use this as fuel. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure they had enough fuel. But the real question is, can the Buffalo Bills build off of this win? They don't have to convince themselves how great they are. When you lose to a team like the Texans, you have that ugly game and you get rocked by the Ravens, there's more of a convincing. Hey guys, we're great. We could do this. We're great. And it's like, yeah, we can. When you beat the undefeated back-to-back champions, Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Spags, we are great. I told you, I know we're great. You don't have to convince yourself. And yeah, like Josh Allen said, this is just a regular season game. But he knows it. Like, everyone always knows that these games are important. You know the Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes, Kelsey, Andy, all of them, they want that win. You saw them celebrate against the Chiefs, against the Broncos. Like it was their Super Bowl. They were celebrating that blocked field goal. So don't let anyone try to convince you that regular season games don't matter, because they do, especially in games like this. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills beating the Kansas City Chiefs Any takeaways from the game, let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.